This just sent straight from Philly. Philly MC said they want that smoke, so we're gonna see what y'all got. Meek Mill, you know, you ain't got nothing but air and opportunity to show them how it's done.
I'm at a point in my life like we all grew up in the streets and we try to be better, but they labeled us felons, sent us back to jail. I had to fight against that the whole time.
Where would you be right now if you were just Meek Mill, who nobody knew, if you didn't have all these powerful people who raised your case up and made people pay attention?
I would be in prison.
Hey, what's up, King Son? Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, Daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you.
Meek Mill's got to deal with what he got to deal with based on the relationship him and Puff had.
They promised him the world, but what they delivered was a nightmare disguised as opportunity. Tonight, we're connecting the dots between Diddy's mentorship and the systematic breakdown of one of Philadelphia's brightest stars. This isn't just about industry politics. This is about prey, behavior, power, dynamics, and what happens when desperation meets manipulation. Let's start with what most people missed. Meek Mill wasn't randomly chosen by Diddy. He was strategically targeted at his most vulnerable moment. Fresh out of prison in 2018, career in limbo, legal troubles mounting, and desperate for someone with real power to believe in him. That's when pre'd strike. Not when you're strong, but when you're grateful. Diddy had perfected this formula over decades. Identify young talent at their breaking point. Offer them salvation through your industry connections, then slowly shift the terms of that friendship until they're trapped. The initial offer always sounds like mentorship, but the reality becomes something much darker.
Meek Mill's got to deal with what he got to deal with based on the relationship him and Puff had. Dressing alike, being cozy, Puff calling him daddy, saying little innuendos to him. People are looking at that and saying Meek Mill is wrong for saying no Diddy. But you can't tell a man how to spend his money and how to make love to his wife or his Diddy.
Gene Deal doesn't speak lightly when a man who's seen the inside of Bad Boys operations for years talks about consequences. He's not talking about missed studio sessions or contract disputes. He's talking about the price Meek paid for getting too close to a system designed to exploit vulnerability, and that opportunity was always a trap. It came to Meek on May 3, 2014. Diddy spent $25,000 to rent the Parisian Palace in Las Vegas for Meek's 27th birthday. To the outside world, it looked like generosity. To insiders, it was an investment, and investments always expect returns. What happened at that party wasn't celebration, it was an initiation. Property manager Jason Hayes' testimony reveals the aftermath: red-stained sheets, used condoms, coke residue, razor blades, and industrial amounts of lubricant. But here's what makes it worse. Diddy had specifically requested double-sided locks on all bedrooms with keys given only to him. That's not party planning, that's trap construction.
They came recently. This happened a long time ago, but they recently just made a statement that they found loads of cocaine. I wonder what they did with the cocaine, because they didn't turn it over to the police. They said they found loads of cocaine, razor blades. They said that the sheets were bloody, nasty. They found a whole lot of used condoms. And it was a Diddy party, giving in Meek Mill's honor for his birthday. I was like, yo, wow.
Gene's reaction says everything. This isn't a shock. It's confirmation of what industry insiders already suspected. When someone who's seen Hollywood's darkest corners calls something disturbing, across lines most people can't even imagine. The party was never about celebrating Meek. It was about breaking him. Meek Mill was supposed to represent Philadelphia's triumph over adversity. Instead, he became a cautionary tale about what happens when desperation meets prey power. His own city, the streets that raised him, the community that believed in him, couldn't even look at what he'd become. The Hollywood transformation wasn't gradual. It was systematic. Matching outfits with Diddy, public displays of submission, recorded moments of intimacy, each step designed to strip away his street credibility and independence. When you're no longer feared on the block, you become completely dependent on your handler.
Everybody kind of knew back in the day that Meek Mills and Puff was a little too friendly. Anytime two rappers or two people in the industry come dressed up alike on more than one occasion, listen here, man. My dudes in Philly, I got some real strong dudes in Philly. They don't play that shit. And they probably embarrassed for the fact to see that Meek Mills, one of the street guys that came out of there, got caught up in this Hollywood shit.
Philadelphia's embarrassment wasn't about homophobia. It was about watching their son get played. The same community that survives on reading people, on spotting weakness and strength, could see Meek had been completely compromised.
It's crazy that money, that lifestyle, and you trying to fit into something get you. These guys never set out to do all this shit. Meek Mills, when he got into the game, he didn't set out to be questioned about his manhood with Diddy. But he put himself in that position. And Diddy could promise a producer, if he's in a act, that he could give him a Grammy. What kind of power, who he doing, or what he know, that he could get that done? That's some kind of spooky shit, bruh. No disrespect. That's real spooky. If he could promise somebody. And good thing the kid didn't believe him, because if the kid would have believed him, he might have got his booty hole tore up. So my whole thing about it is, listen here, man. He has to have some real power, but he showed us his power. Remember at the BET Awards? Remember when they was trying to go to commercial? And he said, nah, we're not good. Whoever done that, bruh? Whoever stopped the people from going to commercial? Nobody ever did that but Diddy, bruh. So he has some kind of power. We really don't know what was said, but the kid said, he told him, this is somebody I admire. This is somebody you got high aspirations for, that you want to be like. Look and see what he doing. This is what you should be doing too. Wow, that was crazy.
Attorneys will take on cases and say, hey, this dude paying out this quick. He'll pay us $1 million right quick, or $300,000, whatever, if he wants stuff to go away. And, you know, I'm sure those insurance companies that he has that mainly, y'all don't know, is the one that be paying those things out. I try to educate y'all on, is usually your company insurance companies that pay them out and make the decisions. When you have the business insurance, or the businesses, you have the different type of insurance that make you pay out the thing. Because by the time you have all the different lawyers and stuff involved, it's just as quick to settle a case. So that's, unfortunately, is what's happening in the Puffy. Everybody's gonna come out of the woodworks. So I'm not trying to say that he don't deserve any of these lawsuits. I don't believe about Meek Mills. I'm a Meek Mill fan. I don't know what happened. I noticed when he talked about it though, Meek Mills didn't deny it. Like I said, I don't want to believe that that is true, but I'm one of those like y'all, when don't say, you motherfucking crazy. I ain't never did no like that. Then it's usually some smoke with that fire. And so I'm not up here saying Meek Mills was involved in that thing. I'm not saying Usher. Yeah, I am. Or Justin Bieber and all of them. Puffy gonna turn out to be our modern day. Oh, y'all about to get mad. He gonna be our modern day Michael Jackson.
Meek Mill says he will pay $100,000 to an investigator to find out why his name is being tied in with the Diddy allegations. Back in February, Diddy was sued by a former employee for assault. The lawsuit included redacted names, and fans believe that Meek Mill was one of those names. The lawsuit was filed by Rodney Jones, and he alleges that Diddy told him he had relations with an unnamed rapper. The footnote of the lawsuit claims that that rapper is from Philadelphia and dated Nicki Minaj. At the time, Meek Mill tweeted denying the allegations that they were talking about him. He denied being gay or doing any drugs, and he made multiple tweets about this, completely denying that he had any sort of personal relations with Diddy in that way. Now, many months later, as Diddy is still being investigated, Meek put out another tweet. He says, "I want to hire an investigative team $100,000 cash to find out every specific detail involving Meek Mill's name to Diddy's case. I also want them to look at who is powering the media involving Meek, anything to do with Buddy, something not right."
Look at this right here, where the whole brake pedal came off. The first day, I never seen no car the first day the brake pedal came off.
I'm at a point in my life like we all grew up in the streets and we try to be better, but they labeled us felons, sent us back to jail. I had to fight against that the whole time to gain my respect and be who I am today, and I'm proud of that.
Heard about this chick that's being shopped around, a Diddy and another Mill? They say the other Mill is an A-list celebrity.
I would wonder if he's white or black. And if I'm looking at any black guys that are A-listers that's bigger than Diddy, there's only one that I could come up with. And there's a few I could come up with. Will Smith, he's bigger than Diddy. I would think Nick Cannon is bigger than Diddy. Who else on the black that are black actors or black in the business that's an A-lister that's bigger than Diddy is black? That's hard to think. But then if you got the A-listers, you know, you got to realize he ran with that that Rat Pack, and I don't want to even say their names, but they said I got their names wrong last time. What's his name? Kushner? What's the other guy? Leonardo? Yeah, his name. Man, I don't keep up with these cats. But I heard that that's not only the tape that's being shot. There's some other tapes out there, other people too with him. And him doing some things with some other people.
A lot of his people that know him, a lot of the people that been in those parties and seen probably some unscrupulous shit that went down and was like, ooh, I was there. I hope they don't got me on tape. They feeling a certain way. So they not gonna speak on nothing until they've been approached with something. You gotta realize, when Homeland Security get their evidence together, they're gonna send agents out. You understand? They might send an agent out to me. Yo, what do you know? What have you heard? What have you seen? What's been going on? You know what I'm saying? You know, did this happen when you was around him? Did this happen back in the day? That's what they're gonna wanna know. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna send investigators out. They're gonna send people out for anybody that they can get some information from to help their case. So those celebrities ain't gonna say nothing. You know, you got your man Stevie J speaking on it right now. He'll be one of the first dudes that they'll probably pull to the side and say, yo, well, you say that your man, I heard you on TMZ say that he never did this and he never did that, but ain't this you? If those pictures or those films or anything like that exists. You know what I'm saying? That's what they pay those agents to do. So, of course, I don't believe that none of the people who or his celebrity friends is gonna speak or say nothing until they're either contacted or they know what they really got.
So you feel like they might be worried that they might be on tape at one of Diddy parties doing something they wasn't supposed to be doing?
I think that the celebrities that may be worried is because what Lil Rob said. Lil Rob said in his affidavit that Diddy had every room taped and bugged. Diddy had, yo, bruh, can you imagine he had every room taped and bugged, and they found little bugs or little tape recorders, little those micro projectors or whatever like that, or video cameras. They found them in the house, bro. So by them having those things in the house, and people know there's drugs, there's alcohol, there's loose women, there's loose men, woman on woman, man on man.
I'm not condoning what it sounds like on when Will Smith get in that on video and camera and audio. I'm not trying to condone what it sounds like when Meek Mill get in that. You know what I'm saying? On camera, on video. I'm not trying to get all in between the business of Reginald Bill Johnson getting in that. You know what I'm saying? And all that other shit, you know what I'm saying? But what I'm talking about is some real gangster shit and some real G is, you know what I'm saying? You wanted that dick in your ass. You wanted that extra $1 million or whatever the case may be, and you can't blame the person that gave it to you. And that's Puff. Puff like the, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna blame that man, you know what I'm saying? Cause he like the, I was like, yo man, no thank you. That's simple, man. I got a couple $1 million just saying I don't wanna tell your truth. You know what I'm saying? Tell your truth. You know what I mean? Like, I'm used to certain things, like, yo, man, tell the truth. You get, but if you want to stay in the room, man, you get, and a lot of people got Puff, fucked a lot of people, and it's not nothing wrong with who he, how he fucked them. It's all on video and audio. And that's what they fucked up at. You can tell me Puff going away for a long time, bro, but do you not hear the of Meek Mill? Do you not hear all of the shake it off, take that of Will Smith?